And there is new criticism over the potential role of the so-called Steele dossier in Robert Mueller's Russia investigation after it was revealed the Clinton campaign paid for the research behind that memo. Columnist Kimberly Strassel writing in the Wall Street Journal, quote, "The dossier amounts to one of the dirtiest tricks in U.S. political history. It was perpetrated by Team Clinton and yielded a vast payoff for Hillary's campaign." Let's talk about this and bring in our panel for more. Cabot Phillips is the media director for campusreform.org and the former digital director for Marco Rubio's presidential campaign. And Atima Omara is a Democratic strategist and the former president of Young Democrats of America. Good lineup today. Thanks, guys, for being here. Much of this 35-page collection of 17 research memos, written again by Christopher Steele, a respected former British intelligence agent by all measure, has left open many more questions than answers. And if this dossier provoked a warrant into investigations of people who have had their reputations tarnished, possibly without evidence to back it up. So what kind of fallout could be down the road? And do you think it's a dirty trick?
No, absolutely not. I mean, if you're going to talk about dirty tricks, well, then let's just lay it at like what Cabot said earlier, which is the fact that the Democrats weren't the ones to perpetrate the beginning of the research. It was the Washington Free Beacon, a conservative funded group, that actually started the research on Republican opponents. Then at that point, when the primary was over, then of course Fusion GPS, like any good opposition research firm, said, hey, Democrats, are you interested in this? Because this is now your opponent. So this was actually started by Republicans. Let's be clear on that. The second thing regarding the dossier, it didn't start any of this investigation, specifically that Mueller is running on whether the Trump campaign associates actually colluded with the Russian government. It was the fact that a FISA warrant, which is something that Republicans supported to have a very high standard to actually wiretap, determined that Carter Page was having these conversations to begin with. And we found out much more information as a result of that, and that George Papadopoulos actually pleaded guilty to actually setting up meetings between the campaign, or trying to, that was authorized by campaign advisors with the Russian government. That's what's the discussion here, and this dossier is actually, quite frankly, an attempt to divert and distract from the very serious investigation happening right now.
And I can hear some reaction coming from our friend Atima there. Atima, much has been made about the timing here, that the Steele dossier allegations didn't surface until after the election. But, this new piece that we're all reading about in the Wall Street Journal shows otherwise. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, again, I go back to saying that this is just simply an attempt to divert and distract from the fact that this investigation is happening because of the FISA warrant that the FBI obtained to investigate the fact that Carter Page was having communications with Russians. And then it led to George Papadopoulos, who actually pled guilty to trying to get authorization from the campaign to meet with the Kremlin government, or the Russian government, as it were. So it's just ridiculous that we keep going back to Hillary Clinton when, I mean, actually Trump himself, the president, was so concerned about what was going to be found out, and he actually admitted that on the air, that he fired Comey. He brought the special prosecutor in this investigation onto himself. This has absolutely nothing to do with the dossier. The dossier wouldn't be brought before a judge and used as a reason. No, it was because the intelligence community saw that the Russian government was attempting to interfere in our elections and had reasons to believe from their wiretapping and other intelligence gathered that this was a concern. That is what this investigation is about, and what we should on both sides of the aisle be concerned about.
All right. Well, we know there's much more to come on this. Of course, we'll continue to cover it. We want to thank you both for being here today. Thanks for spending some of your day with us.
Thank you, Laura.
All right, guys.